Well, Piers, we've never been mealy-mouthed about it. We said from day one that we would end tuition fees, that we would make our National Education Service free at the point of need. And
when you say you're going to deal with something,
Susanna,
are we now going to assume that I will deal with it means you won't deal with it?
Now it turns out that was a load of old baloney. You're not going to get rid of any of the debts, are you? Or you're going to try and deal with it in a mealy-mouthed way, which suggests you haven't really thought this through.
We did not commit to removing all of the debt, Angela Rayner stammered, her words hanging in the air like a confession. This shocking admission came after Piers Morgan confronted her with Labour's previous promises to abolish tuition fees. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. The disconnect between Labour's grand promises and their actual plans was laid bare for all to see. As Rayner struggled to reconcile past statements with current policy,
No, one of whom is my middle son, decided to vote for Labour and for Jeremy Corbyn. He lectured me on missing the Corbyn surge, and when I pressed him, he said, he's going to take care of the students, Dad. He's going to get rid of all tuition fees, and he's going to pay off all the debts.
Susanna, you know that there wasn't a promise on that, and I've been clear. I understand student debt versus student fees, and many students do. I think it's disingenuous to say that students didn't understand that. They do understand that.
Viewers were left grappling with a disturbing question. If Labour can't be trusted on student debt, what else might they be misleading the public about? Angela Rayner's words echo in the studio. We did not commit to removing all of the debt, but didn't they? Let's rewind to 2017, when Jeremy Corbyn, then Labour leader, made some pretty bold promises about student debt. What exactly did he say? Corbyn's words were crystal clear. We will abolish tuition fees and provide free education for all. It wasn't just a vague suggestion, it was a concrete commitment. He promised to wipe out existing student debt, painting a picture of a debt-free future for Britain's youth. But fast forward to today, and Rayner's singing a different tune. So what's changed? The gap between Corbyn's grand vision and Rayner's current stance is as wide as the English Channel. It's not just a slight shift in policy, it's a complete U-turn. Corbyn's promise was music to the ears of debt-burdened students. Rayner's backpedaling? Not so much. It's like promising a feast and then serving crumbs. But let's talk numbers, shall we? The total UK student debt has ballooned to a whopping 100 billion. That's not pocket change. It's a figure that would make even the most generous governments think twice. Experts reckon that writing off all this debt would cost around $100 billion. It's a sum that would make even the staunchest Labour supporter raise an eyebrow. So, what changed? Why the sudden about-face? It's not rocket science. The political landscape has shifted, and Labour's found itself caught between a rock and a hard place. On one side, there's the allure of grand promises that win votes. On the other, there's the harsh reality of fiscal responsibility. It's a tightrope walk that's left Labour wobbling. This apparent U-turn raises some serious questions. If Labour can't keep this promise, what does it mean for their other policies? It's not just about student debt anymore. It's about credibility. Can voters trust a party that makes such dramatic shifts in policy? It's like promising to build a bridge and then saying, "Oh, we meant a footpath." As the studio lights intensify, Piers Morgan leans forward, his eyes locked on Angela Rayner. So, Angela, let me ask you again. The tension in the room is almost tangible, like a coiled spring ready to snap. Morgan's relentless pursuit of clarity is about to begin, and Rayner looks like a deer caught in the headlights. Morgan's interview strategy is a masterclass in journalistic tenacity. He doesn't just ask questions, he builds a verbal maze, each query a carefully placed brick that slowly but surely corners his subject. His approach is simple, yet devastatingly effective. Demand direct answers to direct questions. No beating around the bush, no political doublespeak. It's this strategy that has made him a formidable force in political interviews, and today, Angela Rayner is in his crosshairs. As Morgan fires off his questions, the atmosphere in the studio becomes electric. What exactly is Labour going to do about this? He demands, referring to the staggering student loan debt. It's not just a question, it's a challenge, a gauntlet thrown down at Rayner's feet. And as she begins to respond, it becomes painfully clear that she's not prepared for this level of scrutiny. Rayner's body language speaks volumes. She shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her eyes darting around as if searching for an escape route. Her words come out in a rambling stream, lacking the concise, decisive responses that voters expect from their leaders. It's a stark contrast to Morgan's laser-focused questioning, and it's not going unnoticed. As the interview progresses, the implications of Rayner's performance begin to loom large. This isn't just about student debt anymore, it's about Labour's credibility as a whole. If Rayner can't handle tough questions from Piers Morgan, how will she fare against even more significant challenges in government? The public's trust in Labour's promises is hanging by a thread, and with each evasive answer, that thread frays a little more. The fallout from this interview could be far-reaching. If Labour's stance on student debt is this murky, what about their other policies? Healthcare, education, economic reform. Suddenly, every Labour promise seems shrouded in uncertainty. It's a domino effect of doubt, and Rayner's performance has set it in motion. As the interview reaches its climax, there's a palpable sense that we're witnessing a pivotal moment. Rayner's credibility takes a significant hit when she fails to provide a clear, concise answer to Morgan's straightforward questions about Labour's plans. It's not just a slip-up, it's a revealing glimpse into the gap between Labour's public promises and their actual policy details. As the dust settles on this gripping exchange, viewers are left grappling with more questions than answers about Labour's true intentions. The interview has laid bare the intricate dance of political messaging, where every word can become a minefield. Experts stress that consistency is the lifeblood of public trust, yet we've witnessed a performance that's anything but consistent. This isn't just about student debt anymore. It's about the very fabric of political discourse and the public's growing skepticism towards grand promises. Can we trust what we hear from our leaders? Or are we simply being fed a carefully crafted narrative that crumbles under scrutiny? One thing is crystal clear. In the high-stakes world of politics, words aren't just words. They're weapons, shields, and sometimes ticking time bombs. The ability to defend them under pressure isn't just a skill. It's a survival tactic. As voters, we're left to wonder, are we being led or misled? And more importantly, are we asking the right questions?